They say blood is thicker than water, but in the Bennett family, blood was just currency. Imagine waking up to find your suitcases packed, not for vacation, but for disposal. Maya Bennett, 22 years old, didn't know she was royalty. She didn't know her veins held the power of legends. All she knew was that her own sisters had just sold her to the most brutal pack in the West for $45,000 and a pickup truck. But fate has a dark sense of humor. Because the man coming to claim her isn't just any alpha. He's her destined mate. And he's about to burn everything down to save her. Act 1. The betrayal. The Bennett apartment in the outskirts of Ashford always reeked of cigarettes and cheap vanilla candles. It was a Friday night in November when Maya, small and exhausted, was scrubbing wine stains from the carpet. Her hands were raw from bleach. She was the family shame. In werewolf culture, if you don't shift by 18, you're worthless. Maya never shifted. She was considered human, broken. In the kitchen, her sisters Jade and Harper whispered frantically. "We're out of options," Harper hissed, tapping overdue bills. "The Iron Ridge Pack loan sharks come tomorrow. Without $45,000, we lose everything." Jade, the oldest and coldest, exhaled smoke. "I talked to Ronan this morning." Maya froze. Ronan, the enforcer for Alpha Marcus of Iron Ridge, a pack known for violence and trafficking. "He made an offer," Jade continued emotionlessly. "Alpha Marcus needs workers. Someone quiet. Someone unregistered." "You mean Maya?" Harper glanced toward the living room, looking relieved rather than guilty. $45,000. Clears the debt, saves the house, fixes the truck. Plus, we don't have to hide her anymore. Maya stood, legs trembling. She walked into the kitchen. "You're selling me." Jade stubbed out her cigarette. "Don't be dramatic. You're getting employment. We can't afford you anymore." "To Iron Ridge," Maya's voice cracked. "Jade, you know what they do there." "Then don't make them angry," Harper snapped. "The deal's done. Ronan's sending transport in an hour. Pack your things." The betrayal wasn't fiery. It was ice cold. Maya looked at the women she'd cooked and cleaned for her entire life. No love. Only calculation. "You're selling your sister for a truck repair," Maya whispered through tears. Jade grabbed her chin roughly. "We're selling a burden. Now pack. Or maybe Ronan takes Harper instead." The transport at 10 p.m., a black van arrived. Ronan stepped out, massive, scarred, menacing. "This the merchandise?" he grunted. "I'm not merchandise," Maya spat. Ronan laughed. "At Iron Ridge, everyone has a price tag, sweetheart. Get in." Jade caught the envelope of cash he tossed. She counted it with shaking fingers, never looking up as Ronan shoved Maya toward the van. "Jade, Harper, please," Maya screamed. Harper examined her nails. Jade counted money. "It's all here," Jade muttered. "Goodbye, Maya. Try to be useful for once." The door slammed. As the van drove away, Maya realized family wasn't about blood. It was about survival. And she was now alone. Act 2. Iron Ridge. The Iron Ridge territory was a fortress in the mountains. High fences, razor wire, cold stone. For 2 weeks, Maya lived in hell. She woke at 4 a.m. to bake bread, scrubbed pots until her fingers bled, served warriors who grabbed at her and sneered. Alpha Marcus was worst of all. Handsome in a cruel way, he enjoyed her fear. One evening he grabbed her wrist. "You're pretty for a defect. My beta says you don't break easy." "Please let me go, Alpha," Maya whispered, eyes down. "I own you," Marcus growled. "Your sisters made sure of that, but things are changing tomorrow." "Why?" Marcus swayed drunkenly. "Because the High King is sending an inspector. King Lucian Thorn himself. If he sees how I run things, Iron Ridge gets sanctioned." The room went silent. Lucian Thorn, the Alpha King, the strongest wolf in generations. Ruthless, intolerant of lawbreakers. "If the king sees you," Marcus hissed, "if you even look at him, I'll kill you myself. You stay hidden. You're invisible. Understand? Yes, Alpha. But Maya's heart raced. King Lucian was her only hope. If she could reach him, maybe she could beg for freedom. The king arrives the next day. Everything changed. The compound was scrubbed clean. Warriors wore uniforms. Maya was locked in the scullery behind the kitchen. At noon, black SUVs rolled in. The royal guard. From a grimy window, Maya watched. The central car opened. A man stepped out. Tall, powerful, wearing a perfectly tailored black suit. Dark hair, military cut. Even from a distance, his presence was overwhelming, an aura that made every wolf bow instinctively. This was King Lucian Thorn. As if sensing eyes on him, Lucian stopped. He slowly turned toward the kitchen, toward her window. He removed his sunglasses. His eyes were piercing electric gold. Maya gasped and ducked down, heart racing. Outside, Lucian froze. His nostrils flared. He inhaled deeply. "My king," his beta Darius asked. "Something wrong?" Lucian ignored him, taking a step toward the house. "That scent," he murmured. Vanilla and rain. For 10 years, Lucian had searched for his mate across every pack. He'd given up hope. But here, in this filthy, corrupt place, the scent was unmistakable. Home. Her. "Who is in that house?" Lucian demanded. Just staff, my king," Marcus stammered. "Cooks, cleaners, nobody important." "You're lying." Lucian's eyes narrowed dangerously. "And I don't like liars." He strode forward, pushing past Marcus like a child as, "Darius, secure the perimeter. No one leaves." The discovery. Inside the scullery, Maya heard heavy footsteps. The door burst open. But it wasn't Marcus. It was the king. He filled the doorway, presence overwhelming. He looked at the filth, the dishes, the grime. Finally, his eyes landed on Maya, huddled in the corner, smelling of bleach and terror. Maya held her breath, waiting for anger. But Lucian didn't attack. His chest heaved, his pupils dilated until his eyes were almost black. He took a step toward her, hand reaching out, trembling. "Mine!" he breathed with possessive awe. "You're mine." Maya looked up, terrified. "Please, don't hurt me." Her fear snapped something in him. A growl ripped from his throat. Not at her, but at the world that hurt her. "Who did this to you?" Lucian demanded, voice lethal. He fell to his knees in the dirt to be at her level, ignoring his expensive suit. His fingers hovered near her cheek. "Tell me who did this, and I'll tear them apart." Maya blinked. The pull between them was overwhelming, a golden thread connecting their souls. For the first time in her life, she didn't feel broken. She felt seen. "I'm just the help," she whispered. "No," Lucian said, his thumb finally brushing away dirt on her cheek. The spark between them made them both gasp. "You're not the help. You're the queen." Act 3. The escape. Lucian remained kneeling. "Let me get you out of here." "I can't go," Maya trembled. "I belong to them. My sisters signed a contract. If I leave, they'll hurt my family." "He paid for you?" Lucian's voice turned deadly quiet. $45,000 for their debt. Lucian stood. The tenderness vanished, replaced by cold rage. "Darius," his beta rushed in. "My liege, get the car, and bring Alpha Marcus to me. Now." Minutes later, Marcus was shoved into the kitchen. He looked indignant until he saw Lucian's expression. "What is this?" "You bought a human being," Lucian cut him off. "Explain before I rip your throat out." Marcus laughed nervously. "She's not a person, she's a defect. Her family sold her labor rights legally. I have paperwork." Lucian pulled out a checkbook. He wrote furiously and let the check flutter to Marcus's feet. $1 million, Lucian said flatly. "That covers the debt, interest, and inconvenience. The girl comes with me. Now." Marcus stared at the money. Greed battled pride. But he wasn't stupid. "Fine, take the runt. She's useless anyway." Lucian moved faster than sight. his hand wrapped around Marcus's throat, lifting him off the ground. Marcus clawed helplessly, legs kicking. "Listen closely," Lucian whispered. "She is not a runt. She is my fated mate. If you ever speak her name again, I'll burn this entire territory to ash." He dropped Marcus, who crumpled, gasping. Lucian turned to Maya. The monster vanished. The gentleman returned. He extended his hand. "Come, Maya, let's go home." Maya looked at Marcus wheezing on the floor, then at this powerful stranger offering salvation. She placed her scarred hand in his. Lucian swept her into his arms, carrying her through the kitchen, past stunned staff, into sunlight. As they drove away in the convoy, Maya buried her face in his shirt. "I'm dirty. I'll ruin your suit." Lucian tightened his hold. "You could be covered in mud, and you'd still be the most precious thing I hold." Act 4, The Palace. The Obsidian Palace was massive, black stone, glass, and steel on a cliff overlooking the ocean. When they arrived, staff lined up to greet them. An older man, Reynolds, the royal steward, bowed. "Welcome home, Your Majesty." He bowed equally low to Maya. "And welcome, my lady." "Prepare the East Wing," Lucian ordered, "and call Dr. Chen. I want a full medical scan immediately." Maya was taken to a bathroom larger than her entire apartment. She bathed in a marble tub filled with jasmine-scented water, scrubbing until her skin was pink. When Dr. Chen examined her, the stern woman frowned deeply, checking Maya's neck glands. "You said you never shifted?" "No. My parents said I was born defective." Dr. Chen drew blood, analyzed it. Minutes later, her hand shook, reading the results. "Miss Bennett," Dr. Chen turned slowly. "Did your sisters give you daily vitamins or tonics?" "Yes, since I was little. Jade said I had weak immunity. It tasted bitter, like ash." The door opened. Lucian walked in, hair damp from showering. "How is she?" Dr. Chen removed her glasses, looking grave. "Sire, she isn't defective. She's been poisoned." Lucian went still. "Explain." "Her blood is saturated with wolfsbane and silver nitrate mixed with shadow root, a cocktail designed to keep a wolf dormant. If she's taken this for years, it's a miracle she's alive." Maya felt the room spin. "Poison? But Jade gave it to me for—" "It wasn't medicine," Lucian said, voice dropping to a terrifying growl. "It was a cage." "Why would they do this?" Maya whispered. "Because," Dr. Chen looked at the data again, "shadow root is only used on alphas. It would kill a normal wolf in days." She looked at Lucian, then Maya, eyes wide. The only reason she survived is because her wolf is incredibly powerful. Based on these markers, she's likely alpha bloodline. Perhaps even a white wolf. Lucian looked at Maya, stunned. A white wolf, the rarest of all. Symbol of purity and immense power. "They feared you," Lucian said, taking her hands. "They knew what you were and poisoned you to keep you weak. Submissive." He kissed her knuckles. "But they failed. We're going to flush this poison out, and when your wolf wakes, the world will tremble." The sisters scheme. Hundreds of miles away, Jade screamed, "He took her! The king took her!" Harper showed her phone. "It's everywhere. Look, Alpha King intervenes at Iron Ridge." Someone leaked a photo. On screen, Lucian carrying Maya from the compound. "We're dead," Harper trembled. "If she tells him what we did—" "No." Jade's eyes gleamed with calculation. "We control the narrative. To the world, what does this look like? Like, the king took our sister?" "Exactly. The king kidnapped our vulnerable, disabled sister. We didn't sell her. We sent her for medical treatment. Then he stole her." "You want to accuse the king of kidnapping?" "I want to go to the press," Jade smiled viciously. "Cry on camera. Beg for her return. The public will side with us. The king can't kill grieving family without looking like a tyrant. And we'll get a payout that makes $45,000 look like pocket change." Act 5, The Awakening. The detox was agony. For 3 days, Maya burned with fever, her body purging years of poison. Her veins glowed sickly black as toxins were expelled. Lucian never left. He held her hand, wiped her forehead, let her dig nails into his arm until he bled. "It hurts," Maya gasped back, arching. "I know," Lucian whispered helplessly. "Fight it! Fight for me!" While Lucian fought for Maya's life, Lady Vanessa Thorne, daughter of the Southern Alpha, and a woman who'd spent years positioning herself as Lucian's queen, paced outside. She was stunning with red hair and emerald eyes, but her beauty was sharp, dangerous. When Lucian briefly left the room, Vanessa slipped inside. She looked down at Maya, pale and breathing shallowly on the bed. "You don't belong here," Vanessa whispered. Her finger hovered over the IV drip. "One air bubble and it's over. You're just a broken little thing." Maya's eyes snapped open. They weren't brown anymore. They swirled with iridescent white light. Vanessa gasped, pulling back. A low growl emanated from Maya's chest. Not a whimper, but the rumble of a beast that had been chained in darkness for 10 years and just snapped its leash. Lucian stormed out of the bathroom. "Get away from her!" Vanessa fled, pale with humiliation. Maya sat up. The fever had broken. The scars on her hands were fading, knitting together. Her muscles hummed with vibrant energy. "She's here," Maya whispered, clutching her chest. "My wolf. Her name is Lyra." Lucian exhaled in relief. "Lyra. Beautiful." Maya stood, wobbling, then finding footing. The fog in her mind was gone, replaced by sharp, crystalline clarity. She remembered everything. The abuse, the betrayal. But she didn't feel sad. She felt furious. "Lucian," she said steadily, "where are my sisters? They're causing problems on every news channel. They're demanding a meeting, or they'll sue for human rights violations." Maya walked to the mirror. The woman staring back wasn't the runt of Ashford. Her eyes glowed gold. Her hair was lustrous. She looked like a queen. "They want a meeting?" Maya asked, a cold smile touching her lips, terrifyingly like Lucien's. "Yes." "Good," Maya said. "Invite them to the palace. Invite the press. Invite everyone." "Maya, you don't have to. I'm not hiding anymore," she cut him off. "They sold me for a truck. Poisoned me to keep me a slave. I'm not going to hide. I'm going to end them." Act 6. The Reckoning. The great hall of Obsidian Palace was silent. Lucian sat on his throne, but the empty chair beside him drew every eye. The doors opened. Press entered first, then the grieving family, Jade and Harper in somber clothing, with Alpha Marcus as their protector. "King Lucian," Jade's voice trembled for cameras. "We demand our sister's release. You used power to steal a vulnerable girl. Give her back, and we'll drop charges." Lucian didn't move. "Captivity is a strong word, Miss Bennett. And the $45,000. Jade froze. "I don't know what. Then why did you poison me?" The voice cut through the room like a blade. From shadows behind the throne, Maya stepped forward. She was unrecognizable. Gone were the rags and grime. She wore a midnight blue gown, hair cascading in waves. But it was her presence that silenced everyone. She didn't look like a victim. She looked like a queen. Jade's jaw dropped. "Maya." "Hello, Jade," Maya said with chilling calm. "You look surprised to see me alive." "He's brainwashed her," Jade shrieked. "That's not my sister." "He set me free," Maya projected her voice. "Dr. Chen found shadow root in my blood. The poison you put in my tea every morning since I was 10. The poison that kept me small, stopped my shift." Murmurs rippled through the press. "Lies." Marcus stepped forward, face red. "This is a setup." "And you?" Maya turned golden eyes on Marcus. "You didn't buy a worker. You bought a sister." Lucian raised his hand. The massive screen behind the throne flickered to life. "Bill of sale. Item, Maya Bennett. Unregistered Omega. Price $45,000. Buyer, Alpha Marcus. Sellers, Jade Bennett, Harper Bennett. The room erupted in chaos. The ink matches the pen in your purse, Jade, Lucian's beta announced, and bank records show the money fixed a 2019 pickup truck. You sold your own blood for a truck repair. The disgust was palpable. Jade fell to her knees. We were desperate, she sobbed. Maya, please, we're family. Maya looked down at the woman who enslaved her. My family? She looked at Lucian, then back. My family is standing beside me. You are just the people who sold me. Guards, Lucian ordered. Take them. Marcus pulled a detonator. No, I won't go down for this. Get down, Lucian screamed, shoving Maya behind him. Boom. Windows shattered. Smoke filled the hall. Ropes descended. Mercenaries hired by Marcus swung in. It's an ambush, Darius yelled. Marcus shifted into a massive brown wolf, lunging straight for Maya. Lucian intercepted him mid-air, shifting into a gargantuan black wolf. He slammed Marcus into marble, but 3 rebel wolves swarmed him. A mercenary circled toward Lucian's exposed flank. Maya saw her mate surrounded. Heat rose in her belly. Not fever, but white-hot instinct. Protect, mate. She closed her eyes and let go of her last thread of fear. A blinding white light exploded from her body. Bones cracked. Fur sprouted white as fresh snow. When the light faded, standing on the dais wasn't a girl. It was a wolf. A white wolf larger than any female ever recorded, radiating ancient, holy power. The fighting stopped. Rebels froze. Even Marcus, pinned under Lucian, stopped struggling. The white wolf threw her head back and howled, a sound of absolute dominion. Maya had arrived. The final battle. The howl vibrated in the marrow of every living thing. The rebel wolf's instincts screamed, Submit! Maya didn't wait. She was a blur of white, leaping and tearing through chaos. She landed on a gray wolf flanking Lucian, throwing the beast aside with effortless power. Lucian recovered, looking at the ethereal creature beside him. A rumbling purr of pride vibrated in his chest. Mate? They moved together, smoke and shadow. Lucian was brute force. Maya was precision. Black and white fur decimated resistance. Marcus, seeing his mercenaries cowering, tried to run for a shattered window. But Maya was faster. She cut off his escape with a snarl exposing lethal fangs. Marcus skidded to a halt, whimpering. Lucian lunged, pinning Marcus by the throat. He looked at Maya, silently asking, Kill or spare? Maya approached, golden eyes burning. She placed a heavy paw on Marcus's chest. She didn't kill him. Instead, she let out a short, sharp bark. Submission. Marcus whined and went limp, baring his neck. The battle was over. Epilogue. 1 year later, the balcony of Obsidian Palace offered a perfect view of the sunset painting. The ocean in purple and fire. Maya leaned against the railing until strong arms wrapped around her waist. You're thinking too loud, Lucian murmured, nuzzling her neck. I'm thinking about the orphanage opening tomorrow, she admitted. The first shelter for unregistered wolves. I want it perfect. It will be, Lucian turned her to face him. Because you built it. You've changed this kingdom, Maya. Life had changed. With a white wolf on the throne, old prejudices were dying. The runts were protected. Corruption was purged. Jade and Harper? Banished to the lawless fringe territories, powerless and alone, living exactly as Maya once did. Marcus? Sentenced to the deep mines, working until his debt was paid. Which would be never. You know, Lucian said with a mischievous glint, the council is asking about an heir. They think a little white wolf running around would boost morale. Maya laughed, winding her arms around his neck. They can wait. I don't know. Lucian pulled her hips flush against his. I think they make a good point. Maya smiled, thinking back to the girl scrubbing carpets, believing she was worthless. She looked at the man who saw a queen when she was nothing but a servant. "Maybe," she whispered, pulling him down for a kiss. "But for now, I'd like to enjoy my freedom with my mate." Lucian growled playfully, lifting her into his arms as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the palace in gold. They had walked through fire to find each other, and now they had the world at their feet. And that's the story of Maya and the Alpha King. From being sold for a pickup truck to ruling as the rare white wolf. Talk about the ultimate revenge. What did you think of the punishment for Jade and Harper? Too merciful? And seriously, how satisfying was that submission command? Let me know in the comments. If you loved this story, smash that like button. It helps us so much. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss an upload. We've got a crazy story coming next week about a rejected mate who becomes a billionaire. Stay tuned.